A house.
With a door.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Ready to play.
What's the day?
It's Wednesday. Hello. Have you ever listened to the things that the noises around you make? What about this drawer? What sort of noise do you think it would make? Swish, 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 swish. And a bump. Swishing and a bumping noise. I think there was something in here. Oh yes. A metal tin. Clang clang. Clang clang clang. Clang 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 clang. And what about this? Anything else? Paper. A rustling sound. Oh, and what about these? Keys. Sort of a jangling noise. Jangle, jangle, jangle. Jangle, jangle, jangle. Jangle, jangle. Or they could be a bit like bells. Bells ringing. Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. Anything else? Ah. What about this? A pencil sharpener. What sort of noise do you think this would make, do you think? I'll turn the handle. Crunch, 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 crunch. Anything else? Ah, yes. What about this? It's not making any noise yet, this clock. But if I wind it up and you listen, tick-tock, 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 tick-tock. Clocks make very peaceful sounds.
Oh, hello. This machine makes noise too. Do you know what it's called? It's called a typewriter. Show you how it works. Just take the top off like that. And you can see there's a different knob for every letter of the alphabet. You press a knob and it prints right onto the paper, so you can type any word you like. Just put that back on. Now I've got a shopping list here I need to finish. So, what do I need to add onto it? Ah, yes, S-O-A-P. Soap. Makes a lot of good noises, this machine, doesn't it? Listen. Yeah. Oh, and this one. It's a great one, isn't it? Ba-ba, black sheep, have you any wool? Oh, yes, sir, 3 bags full. Very rhythmic machine, isn't it? There's a piece of music called the typewriter song. It's a very fast piece. It requires a lot of fingers, but I can only use my 2. Let's see how fast I can type to the typewriter song using just my 2 fingers. Oh. Clearly I didn't do very well, did I? Let's try it at home. Pretend you've got a typewriter right in front of you. Give your fingers a good stretch. I'm going to need to give this a good bashing. Whew. We ready? Okay. Oh. Pretty. Oh. Ready? Oof. Oh, God. Ah.
Hello. Different musical sounds with all these things. You got the low notes, high notes. Low, 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 low. La, 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 la. And all the sounds in between as well. Did you hear that? I'll go down again. I'm going to play a tune. See if you can guess what it is. Did you hear that? Any clues? Mary, Mary, quite contrary. Mary, Mary, quite contrary. How does a garden grow? Different musical sounds with all these things. But how did the music of the world begin? Did it start with a whistle or a violin? A pap, 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 or a twinkle of a harp? Or the booming of the big bass drum? Or did the wind, through the branches swaying, whisper the words of a song? Or did the rustling reeds and the buzzing bees sing a song we have loved for so long? Buzz, buzz.
Hello. Why don't you pretend you've got a xylophone to play? Give it a go. Now let's look at what other instruments I have. I've got a big drum. Big drum. Have a listen. Good meaty sound that. Oh, deep. And on this side, I've got a big gong. Have a listen. Good sound. Now, when you hear the drum, play the drum. When you hear the gong, play the gong. And when you hear the xylophone, give it a good play. Now let's see what instruments first. Xylophone. Drum. Gong. Drum. Xylophone. Gong. Drum. Xylophone.
Boom, 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 boom. A big drum and a little drum. Rap-a-pa-pum, rap-a-pa-pum, rap-a-pa-pum. And a long xylophone. And a big gong. Different musical instruments. And if we put eyes on them and faces, tiny eyes, and big, long tails, bending around, flying high, up in the sky. What do you think those could be? Flying high up in the sky. They're kites flying up in the sky. And you can see some kites today being flown by people in a country called China. And you can see them today through the square window. Are those birds or are they kites? They're kites. A lot of people come to see the kites fly. You need a bit of wind to fly a kite. A piece of string is on one end, you hold the other bit, and away it flies into the air. There's one with a very long tail. I wonder if that one will fly.
This is a box for little Ted's shop. What sort of shop is it going to be, little Ted? A shop that sells lots of different things. A grocer's? Yeah, I like that idea. Now, we'll need some shelves to put up, which is already there.
Yep. Well, I've got some boxes here, and we can just put them on the shelves to make it look more like a shop. So just put that one there. Oh, yeah. And that one just down there. Why not just put this little one on the bottom? Yep, there they all go.
Little Ted, I think I'm going to need you to sit in, because it needs a counter. So I'll just put you in there. That's the counter.
Just there.
Yeah.
There you are.
There you go. And now, you need a cash register to put all the money in. So that can go there.
This is something you could do at home, isn't it? Perhaps you could build a little shop for your toy. Or you could collect a few odd things from around the house and put them in whenever you need some new stuff. Sugar cubes. Just sugar cubes in there. There you are.
There you go.
Yep, that's all right.
Now, we need some glasses, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
There's some more glasses here. Can go up there. No, look, another one of those jars. And yeah, that's it. And now, oh yeah, the window. It needs a window at the front, doesn't it? So I'll just pop that in there. Now, what's that, Ted? Needs a clean. I'll have to clean it then, so the people can see inside.
Ah, so the window's all clean now, Ted, so what can you see out of it? What's that? Oh, it's a play school clock. Do you know what it says?
We'll give you the clue. The time is the time a lot of the shops open of a morning. Have another look. Do you know? Well, the long hand is pointing straight up, so that means it's something o'clock. And the short hand is pointing to the number. Do you know the number? The number 9, and so it's 9 o'clock. Have a look underneath. There's a swing and a roundabout.
I need these for today's story about a man named Mr. Patelli. He's an Italian who moved to this country a long time ago. This is Mr. Patelli's shop here, with his name on the top, Patelli's. Either side of Mr. Patelli's shop was 2 large open areas. There was a park with swings and a roundabout. The children used to play in the park, used to come in and buy their sweets with their pocket money. Mr. Patelli used to love the children coming into his shop, especially if they stayed for a chat.
One day, men came and closed the park. They took away the swings and the roundabout. They then built a building right next to Mr. Patelli's shop. They built it higher and higher and higher. It was a big office block, and it made Mr. Patelli's shop look very small indeed. Now, on the other side of Mr. Patelli's shop, they built another big building, a supermarket. Now, a supermarket is a shop that sells all different kinds of things.
Instead of going to the bakers for bread, and the butchers for meat, and the fishmongers for fish, everyone was going to the supermarket instead to buy all their things. And Mr. Patelli, he wasn't feeling very happy at all, because he had no customers. And all this time, Mr. Patelli wasn't feeling very happy at all, because he had no customers. All the children weren't coming in anymore because there wasn't no park there. And everyone else was going to the supermarket to buy all their sweets. People in the street didn't even stop and notice Mr. Batelli's shop because it was sandwiched in between these two huge buildings.
And soon, Mr. Patelli had a day where he didn't have a single customer at all. And he said, "Oi, mamma mia, I'm going to have to close my shop and go back to Italia." And so he took all the last sweets that he had and put them in a big cardboard box and gave them to some children who were playing nearby. As he was walking home, he noticed that the supermarket and the office block seemed very quiet and very empty. And just as he was about to close his doors for the very last time, a man came running up to him and said, "Oh, excuse me, Mr. Patelli. I don't mean to be a bother or anything, but do you have anything to eat? I've worked all day and I'm working all night and there's nothing round here to buy. Do you have anything?"
Mr. Batelli said, "But I don't have anything. Wait, I'll make you a pizza." Italians make pizza very well indeed. They're a bread base with cheese and tomato toppings and seasoning on it. The man enjoyed his pizza so much, he asked, "Could you come back tomorrow for another?" He said, "But of course, come back tomorrow, I'll make you another." This gave Mr. Patelli an idea.
So the next day, Mr. Patelli went out and he bought a table and some chairs and he put them on the pavement outside his restaurant. And then he bought a new banner for the window. And some coloured lights that went around the window frame.
Well, everyone from all around town come to Mr. Batelli's to try his pizzas.
So every night, when the supermarket and office building were closing their doors, Mr. Patelli would open his, turn on his lights, and serve his customers.
It's time for us to go now.
Perhaps you'd like to listen to the noises around you.
You could see if any of them remind you of any musical instruments.
Or perhaps you could make a shop out of bits and pieces.
Goodbye, till tomorrow.